Alex here with an event video on Shannon Ruth versus Nickolas Carter, the lead of two cases involving accusations of sexual misconduct leveled against the Backstreet Boys singer.
Good morning, everyone. I'm attorney Mark Boscovich, and I have the absolute pleasure representing Shannon Ruth, who goes by the nickname Shay. This morning, we filed a civil lawsuit against Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys. The lawsuit alleges that Carter physically assaulted and raped my client, Shay, who you will meet and hear from in a moment. But first, let me tell you what happened. Shay attended a Backstreet Boys concert in February of 2001 in Tacoma, Washington. She was 17 years old at the time. When the concert ended, Shay joined the autograph line where she met Nick Carter. He invited her to join him on the tour bus, and once they were inside the bus, he gave her a funny tasting beverage that he called VIP juice.
Hello, my name is Shay, and I'm 39 years old. And the last 21 years have been filled with pain, confusion, frustration, shame, and self-harm.
Mr. Carter has denied the allegations and filed a counterclaim for defamation of his character, not only against Ms. Ruth, but also Melissa Schumann, effectively looping her into the case as well. Mr. Carter's attorneys have already managed to successfully fend off two anti-SLAPP motions to dismiss.
Moving on to another topic that I care deeply about, which is men having really just the same treatment as women do when it comes to the legal system, when it comes to justice. When women were just allowed to make allegations and ruin a man's life, if those allegations are proven wrong, I believe women should serve time in prison. I really do. And so I was very ecstatic to read this story, quite a plot twist. Regarding Nick Carter. Nick Carter, formerly of the Backstreet Boys, has just won a major legal battle against an accuser. A judge is allowing him to countersue her, which should always be the circumstance if you prove the allegations are not true. So I will back this up. A young woman named Melissa Schumann, she was in the band that was called Dream. I vaguely remember having that when I was a child, dancing to Dream music, made allegations that Nick Carter raped her. Those are obviously very serious allegations for somebody to say they were raped. And I'm glad, by the way, that she was able to explore those allegations, because if you are raped, you should obviously be allowed to go after the person that raped you. And in this circumstance, she said that the Backstreet Boy, Nick Carter, did this. Well, it turns out that after investigating her claims, they were somehow able to confirm that she was not telling the truth.
District Court judges Nancy Alf and Jacob Reynolds are allowing comprehensive electronic coverage of the proceedings, the first hearing of which we have already recorded and published earlier today. We also submitted a records request on the anti-SLAPP hearings, which should publish in a couple of weeks. Shannon Ruth is represented by Mark Boscovich and Jamie McAnally. Nickolas Carter is represented by Dale Hayes and Liana Wakayama. AR is represented by John Kawai, the second accuser of which has been allowed to proceed under a pseudonym by Judge Reynolds. Melissa Schumann is represented by Gemma Dunn. You can keep up to date with our coverage schedule by visiting the media tab on ournevadajudges.com, and as always, feel free to post any questions you have down in the comments below, or you can send us an email at media@ournevadajudges.com.
That are a direct result of Nick Carter raping me. Even though I'm autistic and live with cerebral palsy, I believe that nothing has affected me more or had a more lasting impact on my life than what Nick Carter did and said to me. Sorry. After he raped me, I remember him calling me and grabbing me and leaving bruises on my arm.
the truth. Now, I don't know how that was. I don't know how they were able to determine that her claims were false. It could be something as easy as a text chain. These are the things that typically work when you say it shows that you were in a loving relationship. It shows that you were going back and forth, that you were, typically you're not going to hang out with your rapist for 3 years thereafter. Whatever the determination was, they determined that she was actually lying in the circumstance. And so what Nick Carter did then, after that was determined, is that he filed to be able to countersue her, obviously, for the stress and the agony and the pain that this has caused in his life, having to deal with that smear of being called a rapist. Well, she tried to block that. He's suing her for defamation, just to be clear. And she tried to block that. She and her father filed a motion to block his legal action. And yesterday, the judge came back and sided with Carter, denying her attempt to get the countersuit dismissed. They decided that Carter presented sufficient evidence to warrant his defamation case moving forward. So this is wonderful. For everybody that's marching in the streets demanding equal rights, for everyone who's saying, I'm a feminist and I just want equal rights for men and women, well, here it is. This is what it looks like. It means that you don't just hashtag believe women, but you believe facts, you explore the facts, and you give men that same opportunity to explain the facts. So